everyone, today me and Maria are going through Dorian Gray lighting design ideas. So when you're designing lighting for a play, generally what we're doing is we're re-going through the script, we're looking at our scene breakdowns and just figuring out what scenes happen where and what the script mentions, and then what we can take from that and what we can do on our own. We've got a few little things going. We are thinking back to the run-through that we watched the other day, and we're looking at notes that Marie took and her thoughts and ideas that she had during the run-through, and we're re-evaluating different ideas and looking through my ideas and Maria's ideas and combining them. When designing lighting, it's obviously important to know about the practicalities, because obviously in our heads we can design any kind of lighting style we want to, but different theatres offer different lights and different setups and different desks and everything. So this is basically the rigging set out for the Shelley Theatre. This is where the audience are right here. These are Fresnels, these are Fresnel lights, and these are on the back just behind the audience. Here are parkans, and these are all different colours. So what Maria has done is she has numbered each parkan, and here we can find out what colour the parkans are. For example, this is parkan number 2, so that means that it is a white and yellow colour. One of the little challenges that we found when doing this is that these are all mirrored. So we're trying to figure out if the man that's doing the lighting can sort out how to unmirror them, or we're seeing if we can have to have them mirrored and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're kind of contemplating two different ideas in our head while we're doing this, and I guess we'll only really know this from the tech rehearsal and see how it all turns out. So here are the LED lights, and so the interesting thing about LEDs is that they can be changed to whatever colour you need to change them to on the computer, whereas parkans are stuck at the light that they are supposed to be, and they can't be changed. Unless you put a gel over a parkan, there's not much you can do to change the colour, whereas with LEDs you can do it all on the computer, so they're a bit easier to work with, but we have more parkans, so we're going to do what we can with those.
Because of the minimalist nature of the play and the film noir atmosphere that we're trying to give off, we're going to try and tone down the colours to just have it perhaps red and white in the second act. The first act has a lot more scenes set in the past, so we're going to have it sort of the rose-tinted glasses idea, so have a lot more colour, make it a lot more vibrant and accessible. And then the second act is quite stark, black and white, with the whole red, you know, going into that. So just taking one scene as a sample, because we don't want to give you too much information about everything, I've chosen the beach scene, which is in Act 1, and we've just done a script breakdown and come up with some ideas. So we've written things like surreal and intense. So we've got a lot of sound going on, such as the swelling of seagulls, sounds of the sea. So to add to that, obviously we want to add something that's quite cool with lighting. So I just did a quick sketch, this one here. It's really simple, but it just does the job. I mean, you know, sea, sand, that is it really. So I went down to the Shelley and had a test, and it seems to work very well. I used the 2 peach parkans that are on the lighting ring in the front. No, and I think I used two blue LEDs. I used LEDs as opposed to parkans because the LED gives a much more intense light, and simply because the lighting was calibrated that direction.
Okay, so right now we're in the middle of designing the last scene of Act 1. I'm not going to talk about the last scene in depth because it's a surprise scene and it's quite an important scene, but I am going to talk about the practicalities of designing it and what we're coming up with, and basically how it works. So we've got a few different things going on right now. We've got this little breakdown that we've come up with, which is a breakdown of all the lighting changes for Dorian Gray, all the scenes and all the things that we're going to be doing. So for example, in the last scene, there's a lot of lights that will be coming on one after the other to build up a huge saturation of light, and it will build up slowly as that scene goes on. At the theatre, the lighting probably won't make a sound when it comes on, but we like the idea of emphasising the sound of light, like a strip light, or like a clicking of a strobe light. So we'll give this to the sound designer and he can come up with something that works with our idea, and then the tech rehearsal or on Tuesday we can put it all together. Right here we've got the costume breakdown that I made the other day. And basically we're just making sure that we have everything in line with each other. The sound changes, the lighting changes, the costume changes, everything goes along and works together nicely. So I've just discussed with you the practicalities of how we do it. Maria's going to discuss with you why we've made this decision.
Oh God. The last scene of Act 1 is the scene in which Dorian commits to his new lifestyle, and this is a very powerful scene, so we need to crank up the lighting and make it as powerful as the acting. The scene has a lot of impact, and Dorian's emotions really spill forth, and it's the most intense scene where he has to make this groundbreaking decision that will change, you know, the future of his life. But when he does it with resolve and resolution, and that's what we want to bring across. It is also the last scene before the interval, so we obviously want to leave the audience with a very strong impression of the performance. I love the idea of turning on the lights one by one, specifically red. Just as the scene gets more and more intense, the lighting kind of gets, hits that level. So we're just looking through the script to see if there are any key cues in that particular scene that we can use to cue our lighting. So that's just the line where Dorian explodes and says violence. This is what I did the other day at the Shelley, and we can show you in the next video what that will look like in the Shelley itself.
The idea is, obviously, I already discussed Act 1, where it ends very red and where that big scene at the end just leaves everyone in absolute shock as the red just blinds out the whole stage. So then we came up with the idea that all of the second act would lead up to a big blue scene. So we're thinking once again, crank up the blue one by one, especially in the last scenes following the end of the play. So it would crank up, starting with light blue, and then a bit more blue, and it would end just a big flood of blue, and we would have the white spotlight in the middle just coming down on the end scene. I'm going to give away why it's got to be blue at the end with a big spotlight and how the stage and the actors are going to be positioned, because that would give away a huge spoiler. I really want to tell you though, but I'm not going to. But yeah, we have come up with this blue decision for a reason, and we're actually really excited about how it's going to turn out. Come see it at the weekend because we're putting a lot of work into it and it's going to be really good.
We are really excited, things are really rolling, and so next Tuesday we'll be going to the Shelley Theatre and sorting things out. So do stay tuned because we will be having another video at the Shelley showing you what the lighting is going to be like. See you next time!